as they got clear and were in third and fourth, so Salpetta kept on thumping away almost like a boxing match, and eventually has beaten her opponent into submission and has third place all to herself. This is the athlete striding on strongly, hoping upon hope that something will go wrong up in front of her with one of the leading pair, and that she can get a better colour medal than bronze. She is in third place. Well do, to her credit, still working hard there. She's probably about 40 metres back in fourth place. Wow, look at this. Gebrselassie, for the first time, coming down off that big hill, the one significant rise on this 14-kilometre circuit. It goes over I-5, the interstate motorway, in effect. The downslope of it, she has kicked in, and Korea, it would appear, cannot respond in the way she would like. Gebrselassie working very hard, but that gap, Mara, is not exactly becoming a yawning gap, is it? She's made her move. She's having to work really hard for every inch.
Yeah, and just looking at their running actions, I think Gebrselassie is the stronger of the two, but still about just under 2k to run. She's got a good gap. She just needs to maintain that now. Once you get a gap like this, you've just got to keep working. And of course, Korea has to be running much faster now to close that gap. I think we could be seeing the gold medal being decided right now by Gebrselassie. Only ran her debut last September in Berlin, and she bettered that time with a 2:18.18 in Tokyo this year to get third place. So this will be a massive title for the Ethiopian youngster, 27 years old.
Well, yesterday Tamirat Tola stormed to a glorious gold in a very different fashion to this. He cut loose early in the final lap. Gebrselassie here has cut loose in the latter stages, almost within sniffing distance of the finish line. 2 hours 14 and a half minutes on the clock, and she has just a very few minutes to go of hard running to stay clear of Korea, who has worked so hard, led most of the second half of this World Championship marathon. But the turnover rate of Gebrselassie here is fantastic. There's good length to her stride. She's running more like a middle distance runner here. I haven't seen her glance around yet to see what sort of damage she's done. I suppose if you think about it, she is giving 101%. So what's there to gain from turning around? You can't give any more than everything. And the gap there, as you can see, Gebrselassie near the top of the screen, Korea towards the bottom, looks to be wilting. The gap is about 35 metres and is growing with every stride. This looks like to be the completion of a glorious Ethiopian double in the marathon distance, the classic distance.
And she's managed a 3:10 tip for that last split through 41k, so that's where she's done the damage. And it looks like Gebrselassie might have the gold medal sewn up. Korea still making chase.
Well, she had a little glance there. 4 seconds the gap then at 41k. But Gotitom Gebrselassie, wow. She's working so hard. Look at the grimace on her face there, and the mouth wide open, gasping in great breaths of oxygen. Another glance over her shoulder there. Nervous moments this for the champion-to-be, surely. Here's the athlete in bronze medal position, Salpetta. What a run she has had. She's worked so hard for this, the 33-year-old Israeli. She had Weldu for company for many, many kilometres, way through the second half of this race. And she's had to be patient and keep working, and at last she's broken the dogged resistance from the Eritrean to secure surely at least a bronze medal. Gebrselassie here, pulling away still further, Mara, with every stride.
Yeah, she looks great, doesn't she? She's got this sewn up, looks really strong, but Korea fighting back. And keep your eye on the clock, because 2:20.57 is the championship record held by Paula Radcliffe since 2005.
Well, there it is, 400 metres to go. She won't be caught now. This is brilliant running from Gebrselassie. She has waited and waited and waited for this moment, and then she has pounced and never gave Korea a chance to come back. Rose Chalimo, Bahrain won in London 2017. Ruth Chepngetich of Kenya in Doha 2019. Well, in Eugene 2022, it will be gold for Ethiopia. Mari Dibaba, their last gold medalist back in 2015 on the streets of Beijing. But now, within sight of the finish line, it is going to be the title for Ethiopia. And Gebreselassie, Gotitum Gebreselassie, surges towards the line. There's a real fatigue to that stride from the 27-year-old. 2:18 in Tokyo, 2:18.18 back on the 6th of March. She's going to be mighty close to that. It might even be a personal best to put icing on her cake. It will indeed. The tape beckons. Gotitum Gebreselassie of Ethiopia is world champion here in Eugene. And look at the time, 2:18.11. It is indeed a championship record. A fabulous silver for Korea of Kenya. So close in the closing kilometres, but when it came to it, yet again, it was the Ethiopian best which had the speed, the closing pace to take the title. Absolutely brilliant. Catherine Switzer there, an iconic figure in the history of women's distance running, putting the flag, the Ethiopian flag, around the shoulders of Gotitum Gebreselassie. Joan Benoit Samuelson as well, the inaugural Olympic champion in the marathon distance for women, giving the champion a hug. But Catherine Switzer, well, way back, she was the first registered female entrant for the Boston Marathon, and it was a pivotal moment for distance running, Mara.
Yeah, brilliant day, both under the championship record so far, and Salpeter now coming up for a brilliant bronze.
Well, Salpeter being cheered on by these fabulous crowds in the last few hundred metres. She has worked so hard for this. The resistance from Weldu was so stubborn. I did wonder whether or not she'd ever get clear, but she did get away. They passed athletes with that battle between the pair of them. And Salpeter here, heading for a bronze medal, for which she so richly is deserving. Weldu in the background, still battling away, has never given up, the Eritrean. But Lona Chemtai Salpeter puts another fabulous chapter into her career with this bronze medal. She has worked tirelessly for the second half of this race to chase down the leaders. She wasn't to catch the leading pair, but she has caught herself a bronze medal. Nazareth Weldu of Eritrea, she comes home to a personal best by almost a minute and a half. Superb from the 32-year-old. Winner in Daegu earlier on this year, that was back in April. She finishes fourth as Weldu, and the celebrations for Salpeter, they are so justified. Born in Kenya, went to Israel in 2008 as a nanny. And there will be many of her friends and family and compatriots back in Israel, punching the air. Salpeter takes bronze, 2:20.18. Absolutely superb. Gebrselasie's official winning time, by the way, 2:18.11. Korea in second place, 2:18.20.
I've hardly seen Geremu. He's been kind of anonymous in the back of the pack for the last hour and 40 minutes, because that's how long they've been out there now. Guille is still there for Tanzania. Kamwaro recognising the danger here, and I think sensing that Tola has put his foot down. The 30-year-old silver medalist 2017, 5 years ago, gold medalist today on the streets of Eugene. He is world champion Tamirat Tola. What a run!
with the attacks from Uganda and from Ethiopia. This is a huge pack. They have 1 mile to go, and everybody is still in it. Everybody, and some other people we wouldn't have expected to be here at this stage.
Just inside 4 laps to go in the final of the men's 10,000 metres. The world champion and world record holder Joshua Cheptegei leads, but he has an awful lot of athletes queuing up behind him, and he's just had a little glimpse over his shoulder, and he will have seen the Olympic champion Solomon Barega. Isaac Kimeli, the former Kenyan representing Belgium, is there. Rogers Quemoy coming up on the outside. He was 7th in the Olympic final last year. Umburu was just blocked on the curb there, and now there are 1 or 2 running wide on the outside as Joshua Cheptegei begins to start this long drive for home. I think he's recognised that he's got to get rid of some of the athletes in this group, and he's put a noticeable injection of pace together.
So the previous lap was 67. Has Joshua Cheptegei significantly lifted his pace? You'd think the way this group is shuffling around would suggest that something's happening down there, that pace is lifted. Everybody's desperately looking for position. Keep your eye on Aragari of Ethiopia. 64 seconds, that's what we thought might have happened. But Aragari on the outside, he's a phenomenal 5,000 metre runner. He's the second Ethiopian in the pack, and he's quietly making moves to stay involved. He's got a super sprint finish. Could he be one to watch out for as well?
Aragawi still in that group. Jacob Kiplimo is there. Fisher, Klecker for the first time, allowing a little bit of a gap to open up. And they're all starting to jostle for position. We've lost one of the Ethiopians. Tadesse Worku, the world junior champion, is in that little group just to the right-hand side. There's furious jockeying for position going on here. And Barega now leads Umburu. What a story it would be if he won after falling on the first lap. Barega leads. Umburu in second. Aragawi coming up. Cheptegei's got himself a little bit boxed. Diva of Great Britain quite rightly moving on the outside, and Stephen Kieser will have to do that soon. He doesn't realise the pack are coming, and he's about to get swamped.
Getting super congested down there. 3 laps to go, 63, so they've gone 64, 63, and they've got just 2 laps to go. All of these men are jostling for position. There's a lot of 5,000 metre specialists down there. Mo Ahmed doing well to hold on near the back there, the Canadian, just up the inside of his teammate Grant Fisher. They train together, but Aragawi, he holds the world record for 5,000 metres on the road. Took that record from Joshua Cheptegei, who's just trying to get himself back round the outside of this group. It is only 600 metres to go. Solomon Barega in Tokyo last year, he put in a spurt at the bell, got a gap on the 2 Ugandans, and they could not get back on terms with him. Just 5,000 metres to go. The tactics are going to come down to the wire in this men's 10,000 metres.
Inside the last 500 metres. This is a huge group of hugely talented men, and take a second to listen to the noise. It's deafening here at Hayward Field. Who is going to create history? This is the stadium where they say, feel the glory. Any one of these men could win it. You're watching a very, very special race here. Cheptegei, the world champion, the defending champion, driving for glory for Uganda. They'll be on their feet in Jinja, in Kampala, but they're also on their feet in Addis Ababa. Aragawi hasn't been burnt off yet. Barega's in second. Cheptegei opens up a metre. The crowd are roaring for Grant Fisher. No Americans ever won a medal in this race. Cheptegei, the world champion. Can he win it again? Last year, he was burnt up by Solomon Barega. But the champion from Doha is the champion once again here in Eugene. Cometh the hour, cometh the Ugandan. That is the best performance we've ever seen from Joshua Cheptegei. He was under so much pressure. Barega has had a great season. Last year, it was a 53-second last lap. that cost Joshua Cheptegei the gold. This year, it's Cheptegei who's run 53.4, and that is why he is now a multiple world champion over 10,000 metres. They threw everything at him in that race, and just as he found in Doha, he had the answers. It hasn't been a perfect season, but it's been the perfect finish. I've never heard a noise like it on the last lap of a 10,000 metres. This World Championship is delivering again and again and again, and Joshua Cheptegei is the champion of the world and the toast of a proud nation on the other side of the world.
Fantastic first and third for Uganda. And what about that silver medal for Kenya, with Stanley Mburo taking a tumble in the first 200 metres and fighting all the way back for that silver medal, celebrating there with his teammates. Ethiopia had that gold medal with Ntesabet Gide and with tamirat Tola in the men's marathon this morning, and Barega not able to reproduce that Olympic winning form. And it's almost as though Joshua Cheptegei has spent the last 11 months thinking, how did I lose that Olympic title? I need to train in a way that can allow me to beat Barega. And in doing that, he's replicated an even better final lap than Barega turned on him in Tokyo. And through doing that, has burnt off the rest of the field and got himself a fantastic gold medal. Different nation from Gide, but similar in the way that Joshua Cheptegei, you're kind of going, does he have the sprint finish? You know, that's always been maybe his Achilles heel. Until this point, Joshua Cheptegei must have been dreaming of this moment for so many months. I love seeing these men just flat out sprinting down the home straight. And I'd love to see a replay and just pick apart where people position themselves in that last 500 metres, because you give away time, you give away metres, and it can really come back at you.
Well, I've rarely heard noise like it for a 10,000 metres, especially outside the African continent. Dan O'Brien, I'm not quite sure where you are in this stadium, but wherever you were positioned, surely you would agree the noise and the atmosphere for the end of that race was utterly breathtaking.
Yeah, guys, I have to absolutely agree with you. I'm proud of the American crowd here. Everybody was on their feet with 6 laps to go. And after the race finished, it was standing ovations all around, Rob. We've been waiting all championships to hear that sound, that big crowd sound. And that last lap at the 10,000 meters absolutely produced it. I talked to a number of people who had tickets and said they just came here this morning to see the 10,000 meters. And that only happens in the United States, here in Eugene, Oregon.
Great analysis there from Dan O'Brien. And what a great performance from Cheptegei and Kiplimo.
Gary Lough there on your screen, coach to Bashir Abdi, picked up that bronze medal this morning, applauding the rest of this field. Brilliant medals. Hard fought race. This is earlier on. We saw Carlos Mayo took the field through the first couple of kilometres, but it wasn't long before the Ugandan athletes wanted to get the pace moving. Kiplimo, the first athlete, the half marathon specialist, just to try and stretch this field out. But as we moved through the bell, there were still 10 athletes or so involved. We thought it was fantastic last year when we had 7 athletes sprinting for the medals in Tokyo. There was even more here in Eugene at these World Championships.
Do you know what was so fascinating about that? It felt to me, and to you I think, as though the race was beginning to play into the hands of Selemon Barega. But at this point here, Barega had a chance to come wide on the outside, but he just didn't quite have enough this time. And Grant Fisher, coming through on the inside, a whisker away from becoming the first American to win a medal in this event, but he replicates Galen Rupp's 4th place finish from Moscow, and that was quite some winning margin in the end for Jacob Kiplimo. What a race. Joshua Cheptegei. Kiplimo with the bronze, replicating his 3rd behind his teammate in Tokyo, and Mburo recovering from falling to take the silver medal. Barega, the Olympic champion, down in 5th, with Ahmed just behind him in 6th, and Aragawi, the very fast man who won the Eugene 5000 here in the summer, he was 7th. Let's see this again. Barega had the chance, but he just, on this occasion, unlike Tokyo, and the other Ethiopian still very much in this as well. 6th fastest in the world this year, Mulati. 4 laps to go. Ethiopia 1 and 2, Kenya 3 and 4. They're coming round now to begin to lap 1 or 2 of the athletes. Daniel of Eritrea is having a fantastic race, just about staying with this. Schwarzer is at the very back of that group. We've got a little bunch of 5 and then 4 who are running in single file. So we're now down to less than 10, still in contention for this 10,000 metre title.
If I was Abiri, Gide or Taye, I couldn't be doing it because this is too fast. But if I'd drop the hammer now. Sifan Hassan is at the back of the group. If you go now, you're going to get that crucial 20, 30 metres on her without her even realising she could be caught up in traffic. They're lapping runners. It's getting busy down there. Helen Abiri tried to make a move and it was neutralised by Gide and Taye. They swung round her and got into control again. But I don't think they're going any faster than the 71s we saw when they overtook Eilish McColgan a few laps ago. They've really got to get moving very soon if they want to run the sting out of Sifan Hassan. 3:59 she ran in the closing 1500 metres to take the title in Doha. If they leave it any longer, you think the Dutch woman's got more and more of a chance of defending that title.
Just less than 3 laps to go. Surely Letessenbet Gide, if she's got anything in the tank, she needs to start thinking about a big wind-up. Abiri would desperately love to win a medal, if not the title, over 10,000 metres. The defending champion, Sifan Hassan, is still in touch in that group in around about 5th or 6th. Another athlete about to be lapped. Taye, though, looks so composed. Her body language indicates she's still comfortable. Gide just about somehow finding a gap, or does she, through on the inside. Abiri is the first of the 2 Kenyans. Kipkemboi, just ever such a slightly taller figure, and Mulati, the 3rd Ethiopian, still in that group. What kind of sprint can Sifan Hassan find in this race? What kind of form is she in? She just goes past the lap runner. The Eritrean will be spat out the back of that group. Oh, this is starting to get so exciting. The Ethiopian flags just in front of me above the finish line are beginning to really wave and get interested here. 3 Ethiopians still in that group. Schweitzer hanging on at the back, the crowd on the far straight getting excited about the presence of the American. We are witnessing some of the all-time great female 10,000 metre runners. Letessenbet Gide is the world record holder. Twice she's been on the podium in the last 2 global editions of 10,000 metre races. Silver in Doha, bronze in Tokyo. Both times it was Hassan who took the title. What can the Dutch woman produce here? Because we have around about 550 metres to go.
This is getting super tense. The previous lap was 70 seconds. That was the fastest we've seen. Helen Abiri claimed she could drop a sub 60 and she's getting herself in position to do just that. Gide lifts her pace ever so slightly, but could Sifan Hassan, all the trouble she's had this year, a long recovery mentally and physically from the Olympic Games, followed by a calf strain, is all to fight for as they hit the bell. Gide from Abiri.
Inside the last 400 metres in the women's 10,000, Letessenbet Gide striking out for glory, but Hassan is tracking the leading quartet. The noise is huge down the back straight. Gide, Bataille's on her shoulder. Remember, the youngster beat Letessenbet Gide over 5,000 metres. Kipkemboi trying to stay with the pace, and Hassan is winding up for a big finish. What a title defence this will be for Sifan Hassan. She's done nothing all season, and she's coming up onto the shoulder of Gide. Abiri comes through and blocks Tai on the inside. What a battle! Who's got the heart? Who's got the belief? Who's got the drive and the acceleration? One of the great 10,000 metre races. Gide, desperate for the win. Is it going to be her turn? She looks over her shoulder. Abiri's closing. She drifts out. Letesenbet Gide, by the narrowest of margins, turns silver from Doha into gold here in Eugene. Helen Obiri tried to come wide on the outside, and at last, the world record holder becomes the world champion. My goodness me, it was close. It was anyone's race from the top four coming down the home straight. So many times she's been outkicked, but not today. She reigns supreme here, and this is the track where you feel the glory, and Letesenbet Gide does. At last, she's a global champion over 10,000 metres.
Letesenbet Gide was so patient throughout that race. Great run as well from Taye, her teammate. Out of the medals in the closing stages, but Gide, there was a lot going on, and I was confused. Why wasn't she trying to make a medal-winning move? And that to me says she's been sitting at home doing her speed work, because we knew she had the strength. She's so phenomenal over half marathon. She's got that world record in the 10,000 metres of the track. But Gide just trusted in her sprint finish there, and she outkicked some phenomenal kickers. What a turn up from Helen Obiri, picking up her first 10,000 metres.
Lane 2 and pushed Obiri towards lane 3. It was so close. Less than a tenth of a second in it. Kim Kemboy did really well for the bronze, and this time Hassan was run out of the medals. Perhaps the fact that she started her season so late has given her problems. I'm so pleased for Letesenbet Gide because she's got incredible heart and has set some amazing records, but so often she's been brave and bold, and other great sprinters have denied her the medal. Watch the glance. She sees Obiri closing. There's ever such a slight drift out towards lane 2. You can't really see it from that angle. She just about hung on. What a brilliant finish. That was incredible. Kip Kemboy got a PB for the bronze, and Hassan, having done nothing all season, still came out and ran 30 minutes and 10 seconds. That was one of the most entertaining finishes to a 10,000 metres I have ever seen, because you didn't know right down until the last stride who was going to take the title.
Best sprint finish I have ever seen of Letesenbet Gide. You can see her able to do that. She made a big move with 1k to go in Doha and came unstuck. Got beaten by Sifan Hassan, had to settle for the silver medal last time round, and I'm sure that was playing on her mind here today in Eugene. Letesenbet Gide, patient, perfect execution of her closing 150, 25 laps. You know, it's fine, it will all sort itself out, but you've still got to nail your tactics and the measure of your effort in the closing stages. And great to see the first instant medal presentation. This is going to happen. The organisers really keen for the athletes to do their lap of honour wearing their medal, and they've managed to successfully lasso those medals around our top 3 across the line in this women's 10,000 metres, so they can get shown off to the crowd as they go around.
Oh, what a race. That was absolutely brilliant. You were waiting for Hassan to come. She did. And perhaps if her season had started with a few less issues, then coming up wide on the outside with 1:20 to go, she would have taken the title. But you can only beat who's there on the day, and you take it on face value. It was an absolutely stacked field, and this time at last it was Letesenbet Gide's turn for the win. You know, I remember Hannah watching her win your cross-country titles, which is so hard to do. You've got to be so young to have 2 cracks at that. And I remember thinking at the time, if she doesn't get injured, she is going to be a major, major player on the distance running scene. What a race, and what a way to turn silver from Doha into gold here in Eugene. Letesenbet Gide is the champion of the world. Helena Beery at last on the podium in a 10,000.